Good morning, friends. I hope you're doing well today. I'm having a very low energy day, kind of dealing with a partial migraine. So I'm sticking close to the house today. As you saw, I took care of my morning chores. Feeding the local birds is not always what I do every morning, but it's getting cold. We've had multiple nights, hard frost, and so their food sources are getting fewer and far between, so I do like to provide them with some food. So today, all I'm really going to be doing is starting some more seeds, and not a lot. This is, this time of year, I don't have that much going starting-wise, but from here on out, pretty much almost every week, I'll be starting something. And then we'll start getting into big seed starting where there's thousands of seeds coming along for the summer planting, but also spring planting. I'm going to do an early spring planting, which I don't usually do, but if you've been hanging out for a while, you'll know that we moved the farm, and so I have extra space, and I'm going to do 2 successions of spring. So it'll be a good experiment. I haven't done that before. I typically fall plant everything and then have just one big giant harvest over the course of a couple of months. But it'll be really interesting to see if I can extend that so that I can have spring moving into summer and not have much of a delay at all in between those 2 seasons. So that's what I'm hoping for. But today, it's not really stuff for the flower farm. This is stuff for the house. So I'm starting with more celery. The other day last week, I started Chinese pink celery, and this one is a Utah tall. So more celery. I'm going to have this is all going to be in 6-packs. I'm not doing soil blocks for these because I'm not starting that many. So I'm going to do 2 6-packs of that. So 12 plants. And then I've got 2 different delphiniums here. These don't have photos as they're Johnny's, so I'll try to put some on the screen. Magic Fountains Mix and Blue Donna. And then more Dusty Miller. So I started Dusty Miller from seed like 3 years ago, and it's out in the cottage garden, and it's doing amazing. Like it's a perennial for us here, and so actually it's perennial in zones 8 through 10. And it's really beautiful in the beds. And since I cut on it, it kind of stays small and doesn't get super woody. But I would like to add some to other areas on the property. So I'm going to start some more. And this one is the New Look variety. Next is violas, and I like starting these because I use them in like the February time frame, sometimes January, depends on how soon they start to bulk up, but to plant up containers that are looking kind of sad. So this one is called Arkwright Ruby. It's gorgeous, beautiful dark color, which you don't often see in in late winter arrangements. Violas are edible. And so they can be pressed, they hold their color really well, and they can, like in this picture, they're in cookies. So yeah, I like growing them. They're just really pretty. This one is called Antique Leda. And then I have Helen Mount, which I don't have a photo of. I only have a few seeds left of this, so I don't even know if I'll have enough for a 6-pack. And Antique Shades, I love this one. Just the color variation is like one of my favorite palettes. And Brush Strokes, none of these have photos. I'll try to put them on the screen for you. And then the final one is Freckles, and I hardly have any of these, so we'll see. And then I got a seed for Primrose, which I've never grown personally before. I've used it. I bought it to use. I really like primroses. This one is called Victoriana Gold Lace Black, and I think it's stunning. So they're just about 12 inches tall. They're perennial in zones 4 through 8. Now we're zone 9, so the high heat may end up killing them, but I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens. If I put it in a shady spot in the garden, they probably part shade beds, woodland understories. And I have that over on this side of the greenhouse. So I'm going to put a bunch of them in there, and they'll survive or they won't. But I think it'll be fun to check it out, to test it out. So All right, that's what I'm going to start today. I'm going to cover all of these, maybe. Oh, yes. I was going to say I'm going to cover all of these with vermiculite. I have a whole big bag of vermiculite up in the garage, so I need to go grab that. I'm going to get these all planted, put them on a seedling heat mat, and then it's going to be back in the house for just some more like chores like laundry and stuff I'm not going to film because that's no fun. All right, I'm going to go grab that vermiculite and we'll get started planting. Alrighty, sown, watered, and tucked up on the shelf. These guys are on a seedling heat mat, and it'll take more than the usual number of days because it's so cold for them to germinate. So like these guys that I sowed on the 7th, Chinese pink celery and the onions, they haven't germinated yet. That's not unexpected. But the grass for the chickens has started to germinate, you can see in here. So I've moved it off of the heat mat under the lights because it's going to need that. It's also a little bit of mold on the surface. I'm not too worried about that. That's pretty normal. In fact, I just kind of scraped it away and that just revealed more of the grasses germinating in there. So probably in a week or so, this will be ready to go to the chickens, which will be great. So the wreath making workshop was on Saturday and that went really, really well. It was super fun. We did it outside. I'll insert some photos here for you. Everyone really enjoyed themselves and they made some really gorgeous wreaths, but it did get cold. So I think the high that day was maybe 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not that cold, but it was a little breezy. And then the sun started going down because the workshop was from 2 to 4 p.m. And in the wintertime here, since we're down in a little valley, the sun goes behind that hill, by like 3:30, so it was very shady and chilly. So I think, note to self, next year I will have a much earlier workshop in the day, maybe 11 to 1 or something, so that we're in the sunshine. Or if it's raining, it'll be indoors like it was last year. Anyway, that's about it for today's video. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be back out at the farm getting some more work done. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.